Hello, everyone. Welcome to Developing Palettes. I'm Aaron Lewis coming to you from the Drew Estate Studio. With me today is Seth Geis, and from the Bastania Studio, John McTavish. How you guys doing?
Deck the
I'm
halls,
doing well.
baby.
I'm tired, but I'm doing well.
Nice. Yeah, we're kind of getting the final throws before Christmas, so
hmm It's coming up fast.
yeah.
I'm glad I'm not panicking about having to buy last minute gifts.
Yeah,
It's in my
yeah,
mind right now.
yeah. Perfect excuse. I fucking bought it. They couldn't
That's
mail it.
right.
Like, what the
It's in
fuck?
the mail.
It's in
It's
the
in the
mail.
mail. Sorry.
It's like
Maybe
7 week
maybe
backlog. I don't know what to
January.
tell you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not my fault.
It'll be after my tax return comes, thankfully.
So April.
Exactly. All right. So today we are talking about the RoMa Craft CroMagnon Clovis. Cigar is a Robusto Extra 5x56. Comes out of the Fabrica de Tobacco's Nica Sueño factory in Nicaragua. Barber pole. Wrapper is Pennsylvania broadleaf and Ecuadorian Candela. Binder is a Sumatra hybrid. And the filler is from Nicaragua and the Dominican Republic. Blended by Skip Martin. Price point is $13.15. And the cigar was released in June of 2024. So with all that out of the way, Seth, what was your overall experience like with this cigar?
Yeah, listen, I mean, it's first of all, it's a really great looking barber pole.
Yeah.
First third begins with some strong pepper and tobacco notes. It's just earth, barnyard, there's some oak. It's getting some faint herbal notes, a little bit of grass as well. Like you could get a little bit of that candela. I know it's just there for show, but you could get it. But it's still really a focus on that earth and pepper and tobacco, and there's some meaty qualities. I mean, it smoked like a rum craft, medium full to full. Um, Second, third was pretty similar. I didn't find like a lot of transitioning. There's some leather, more meatiness, black pepper, faint grass and hay notes. So that earth, tobacco, and oak, and the final third really kind of just continues with that flavor profile. The only thing I'd say is like the strength really just kind of grew as the cigar progressed.
Yeah.
It gets to the point to the end, you're like, yeah, man, I'm really smoking aroma here. So,
hmm
so I had a really good burn, nice draw. So it was a well constructed stick. John?
Yeah, I had a really nice start to it. As Seth was saying, don't be fooled by the start because the cigar definitely ramps up. Sweet tobacco, very restrained. Sweet wood, delayed spices, and the spices are very restrained. It obviously started to sort of ramp up. I think the spices got to medium for me, and then kind of this really rich malty sweetness in the retrohale and mild grassiness. And I wasn't really expecting to necessarily be able to pick out the different wrapper because Pennsylvania broadleaf is a very heavy wrapper. So I was surprised that I got some of that grassiness through the profile, which is nice. And then mild chocolate on the retrohale by the halfway point. So nice first third, lots of richness there. Second third, creamy wood leading off with chocolate kind of finishing. A little bit of earthiness joining at medium strength, which is I find especially in the Cro-Mags, I get a lot of earthy tobacco notes. Grassy accent was still there, still hanging on, which was nice, but not overwhelming the palate. And then there was kind of pulled back to about light plus, which is nice. A little bit of wood on the post draw. By the halfway point, I found the second third, that last half of the second third, really just driven by sweet tobacco. So pleasant, but I think not quite the same level of complexity as the first third. And then the last third, largely sweet tobacco, mild spices, and then kind of spices and wood on the finish. Earth came back at medium minus strength, and then I think for me the cigar started to heat up pretty quick in the bottom half. It could be how fast I was smoking, I'm not sure, but it got that. Aaron often refers to it as a mintiness, so there's a little bit of bite to it, and so that bottom half wasn't quite as enjoyable for me as the first half of the last third. Anyway, all that to say, above average flavor profile. Unfortunately, the cigar went out on me in the second third, so I had to do a relight and had some snugness on the draw. So yeah. Anyways, Aaron, walk us through your experience.
Yeah, for me, the cigar started with toasted cedar, slightly sharp black pepper, and some light earth. Sharpness departed fairly quickly, and a light chocolate joined a bit later. Second, third saw the earth become even with the cedar up front, and then later took a slight lead in the profile. Final third saw the cedar and earth become even again, and the chocolate note dropped out. I just thought the cigar had a pretty average flavor profile throughout. Became a bit mundane as the cigar went along. There's a bit of kind of a wrapper change along with the larger ring gauge over the Cro-Magnon PA that we reviewed previously, but this cigar didn't really compare to that one. So just kind of a cedar and earth forward blend that didn't really capture my attention. This one's limited, and so I wouldn't see myself coming back to it anyway. But I don't know that you can even track them down probably. So, um, I'm fine that this is kind of unobtainable at this point. But yeah. All right. Saying all that though, getting the scores on the high score at 5.65. John gave it a 5.6. Let's have to give it a 5.35. My score matches up well. It was an average flavor profile, really good construction. The only knock I had is a little bit of a wavy burn at times, but nothing that I had to do any touch-ups on or anything like that. So it gets it in the mid fives, but not enough to make me want to come back to it. John, 5.6.
Yeah, so this is one of the rare times where I say the score doesn't really match up. I had a burn issue, I had a draw issue, so it artificially pulled this, artificially pulled the score down. I think when I think of this cigar, to me, it's a six, and it's kind of right on that cusp of, would I buy these again? And I think I would because I'm a RoMa Craft fanboy, and I like the idea of the barber pole. I mean, it's not just for show; it does actually have some flavor components. So I think it's one of those rare moments where even though the score is kind of above average, I would probably pick more of these up if they're available, which they're really not.
Yeah. All right, Seth, 5.35.
Yeah, I mean that lines up. I think it's a decent barber pole. I think it's kind of one of those when you look at like how barber poles smoke, I think it smokes really well. I think you get that candela quality to it. I would have liked a little bit more complexity and just kind of depth. Kind of just smoked, also pretty consistent from beginning to end, which I guess isn't really a criticism in some ways. I'm sure Skip would say that that's not a fault. But yeah, I just wasn't as blown away with it. There's other sizes that he makes that I like. I probably like this in like a knuckle dragger, like something,
Mm.
whatever that one is, just like a smaller, it's just a big stick. So I wasn't crazy about it.
Yeah. Final thoughts.
It's a good price.
Yeah, so we
Yeah, we
smoked
don't.
the. Oh, go ahead, John.
No, you go ahead.
So we smoked this blend in the anthropology size, which is a much thinner ring gauge. Only real change here is the addition of the candela. So for me, I'm thinking there's not a lot of change here, but obviously wrapper can have a drastic difference here. But maybe I'm wondering like maybe does that blend then maybe not smoke that great in a larger ring gauge? Like is that thin ring gauge the kind of the size for this, which is not I don't think is typical for most Roma stuff. Usually the 50, the 56s are
We did,
kind
what
of
did
the
we smoke?
star.
What was that? A Corona we smoked?
Anthropology is a yeah, Colonel Gordon, so 5 3/4 by 46.
It smoked so much better on that size.
Yeah. So I don't know if you did the barber pole in that size, if it would be a lot better, or if that wrapper just makes
Maybe.
that much of a difference. So, but
I mean, he has said that certain blends, certain sizes are. He's very open that certain size.
yeah,
He's got a favorite size, and he feels. And sometimes it's the larger ring gauge, and sometimes it's the smaller ring gauge.
yeah,
This is that
Yeah,
EMH, this is that EMH size, right? That he uses for
yeah, I
the
think so.
yeah,
early modern human. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
The thing is like it's I think part of the problem is sometimes I think more about like the Aquitaine. Like Aquitaine really smokes well in like that knuckle dragger size and some of the smaller aspects. But I haven't smoked the Cro-Magnons, but these are the new ones. But the Anthropology I think was just light years better than this.
yep,
Mm.
I would agree with that.
I don't even know if the Candela makes that much of a difference. I think
Yeah,
you're
that's all I
right.
don't know. Like it's hard to tell. It's like was such a drastic ring gauge difference between the cigars. You don't, how much does that play in versus the wrappers? So
Yeah.
yeah, but I wouldn't. I don't think that the Candela would play that big of a different role. But there's no way to really tell. All right, wherever you catch this video, be sure to like and subscribe and check out the full written review on the website, developingpalace.com. Follow us on all the social media channels, and you can catch all of our review recaps on podcasts. So iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in. We will catch you on the next one.
CroMagnon